because the minorities protest against the Bank of Ghana governor, Dr. Ernest Anderson, and his two deputies may not come off on Tuesday as initially scheduled. This follows the decision of the Accra High Court to adjourn its ruling after some initial objection filed by lawyers of the minority in Parliament. The Ghana Police Service on Wednesday actually filed this injunction against the minorities' proposed routes for the protest. Richard Kojinyako was in court, now reports.
Two preliminary objections were raised by lawyers for the minority and the civil society group. Eduji Tamaklo led the charge. He shut down the police motion and called it incompetent. He says that they have not properly invoked the jurisdiction of the courts. After listening to the various arguments by the minority and the Ghana Police Service, the judge called them into his chamber. Mahama Yarga explains what happened after the judge called them.
Eduji, who led our team, raised very serious legal issues. The police have been doing the wrong thing for a very long time. It is only today that Eduji drew the attention of the court to the fact that the police have been doing the wrong thing in terms of the mechanisms that they have always tried to use to stop demonstrators from carrying out their demonstrations. And as you saw, arguments were made for and against our position. The judge asked us to see him in camera. When we went in, he said that the legal issues that were raised by our side were very serious legal issues. They've never really been canvassed before any court before. And we had referred to several authorities. And he, as a judge, feels that he needs to take a more serious look at the arguments that were made in court today. And given the fact that we just raised those legal issues, he needs a little time to give a ruling, a reasoned ruling, a written reasoned ruling on the matter. So he pleaded with us to give him time. We haggled over the time, and finally we agreed on Friday. So he says that we should hold on so that on Friday he will give a ruling on the legal issues that we ourselves have raised in court regarding the competence of the police to come via the mechanisms and the route that they have come to court.
So does it mean that the protests by the minority and the civil society will not come off as advertised? Mahama Yarga has some answers.
So as law-abiding citizens, we don't want to sidestep the courts, because we will need them to protect us also one day. So the courts have not stopped us from demonstrating. Yes. And the courts have not changed the route of the demonstration. And we have no intention to change the route of the demonstration. Indeed, the arguments on the route hasn't even happened yet in court. It is just our pointing out that the police is incompetent in the way that they have come to court. So we are pleading with our supporters and those who have prepared themselves for this march to remain prepared, because this march will happen. It will happen on the same route. It is only the date that will change after the court has given a ruling. So on Friday, we will be back here in court. We will listen to the ruling of the court on the preliminary matter. We will go into the substantive matter of whether or not the Bank of Ghana premise is a security zone, whether or not, the routes that we have chosen cannot be used by us, and then whether or not we are the ones causing the coup in this country. All those arguments will be heard on Friday after the ruling on the preliminary matters and a decision taken by the court, and then we will announce the specific date of the demonstration. What they have done is just to postpone their problems. They have just postponed their problems. As for the problem of we demonstrating their inefficiency, incapacity, how they have destroyed the Central Bank of Ghana and the financial system of the country, we will demonstrate, and we will demonstrate on that route that we have announced to the public.
We have also been speaking with the minority leader, K.C. Forson, on the way forward.
Demonstration will happen in due course. The court has asked us to wait for 1 week, and we are waiting for the court ruling on the matter on Friday. Our supporters should remain ready, and the demonstration will certainly happen with a new date. Simple.
Reporting for Joy News, my name is Richard Kojinyako.
Well, we have a bit of an update on that story for you, as there's a statement coming through from the minority caucus in Parliament. We can just bring you details of what we have now, titled "The Minority in Parliament Reschedules the Protest March to Bank of Ghana." And of course, the plan was to go to the head office Tuesday, 12th of September. But now that will be the new date. Let's bring in our parliamentary correspondent, Kweku Asante, who's just taking a look at this statement coming through from the House. Kweku, what are we seeing on the screens now, and what's the detail really, and the position of the minority on this?
Minority is confirming that they are changing plans. We know that tomorrow they intended to march through the principal streets of Accra towards the Bank of Ghana head office to demand that Dr. Ernest Addison and his deputies resign over the historic losses that were made by the Bank of Ghana. But just as the report you played there indicated, the minority raised some technical matters in court today, which meant that that protest will be delayed. In fact, the court is set to rule on that technical objection that was raised by the minority on Friday. That would mean that the original date, that is 5th September, tomorrow, is not going to come off. The minority are changing dates. They say that they intend to do this new protest on the 12th of September. They insist that they are going to go by the same route that they have planned to go, for which reason the Ghana Police Service have put them before court, seeking an order of the court to change or vary the route that the minority insists they want to go on. In this statement that the minority leader himself signs, he says that the march will commence from the frontage of Parliament House through Osu Cemetery traffic lights, Ministry of Finance, High Court Complex, Kimbu, Makola, Rollins Park, Oprah Square to the Bank of Ghana, and that the originally scheduled date, Tuesday, 5th of September, has now been changed to Tuesday, 12th September 2023, and the route remains the same. They insist that this legal objection raised by the police service, for which reason they are in court, is incompetent, and they believe that they are going to win. And on the 12th of September, they can embark on that protest.
And we know that they are asking Ghanaians to remain resolute in their fight to protect what they believe is in the interest of the country. Why so?
Definitely. In fact, the advisors, as we are learning, are telling them that the propensity that the momentum will die down is high because everyone was preparing for Tuesday, that is tomorrow. But if this protest is going to be rescheduled for a week, then that means that some Ghanaians may think that this protest is not going to come up at all. What the minority leader is saying in this statement is that Ghanaians must remain resolute. They must continue their support to demand that the Bank of Ghana Governor, Dr. Ernest Addison, and his deputies resign, and that they in the minority will continue to champion their interests. Let me quote specifically. He says that we wish to call on Ghanaians to remain resolute in the fight to protect our constitutional rights, to demonstrate and hereby assure them that a march to the Bank of Ghana head office will certainly take place on Tuesday, the 12th of September, 2023.
And Kweku, there's a question as to why the minority leader himself, Dr. Kaysel Atuo-Forson, is the one leading this charge. Any background to this?
In fact, the minority leader, for about 2 years now, even before he became the minority leader, had raised significant concerns about, at the time, allegations that the Bank of Ghana was printing money for government. At the time, the Bank of Ghana denied that nothing of that sort was happening and that they were just giving the central government some overdraft. But it has now been confirmed that the Bank of Ghana printed some amounts of money to the central bank, which has in part led to the Bank of Ghana accumulating about 40 billion Ghana cedis in losses, more than that actually. And the Bank of Ghana's historic losses has been what the minority have been bringing this protest on. They say that if you look at how Dr. Ernest Addison and his deputies have been running affairs at the Bank of Ghana, they have been running it as though the Bank of Ghana is a piggy bank of Ken Ofori-Atta. He could just walk in at any point in time and demand any amount of money, and it will be printed for them. The minority leader himself had made several statements on the floor whilst debating budget statements, media budget review, and a host of other issues that have come up on the floor. And in fact, he's the one leading, like you said, this minority effort to get the Bank of Ghana governor and his deputies out of office.
Okay, we need to point out that the governing New Patriotic Party has been justifying the decision of the police service. Interesting times ahead, but Kweku Asante, our parliamentary correspondent, giving us the latest on OccupyBoG.